Hey there, Ed from Barnabas Robotics. I wanted to make a quick video here on how to assemble the Barnabas-Bot kit. So I have my Barnabas-Bot here, and we have instructions on how to do it online using images, but I was requested to also make a video, so here we go. All right, so just opening the box here so you see the whole process here. Okay, here we go. Just putting some of this stuff to the side. All right, so we got our front plate here. This is going to be the front of the robot. We have our, I call this the torso here. And then these three holes here, 1, 2, and 3. This is where the motors are going to go in. We're going to need our motors here, 3 of them. We have our head here. Now the head here, we have a top and a bottom. And this comes open like this, okay? All right, what else do we have here? We also have the arms here. This arm back includes a couple screws here. We're gonna need those. We have assembly screws. One of the bags here has this Allen wrench in here. And then we have 6 little screws here. Actually 7, should be 7 little screws in here. And then we have these little bigger screws here in this bag. Put this to the side. What else do we need? We are also going to need down here, either down here or it could be up here as well. But you're going to want to find this. This is the Barnabas noggin. This is the part that we use to do the coding. It's the brain of the robot. All right, let me put this stuff to the side. Okay, and then we can get started. All right, so the first step I would start with is, let's go with the torso here and these servo motors. So what we're gonna wanna do is open up the bag. So you could use some scissors. I'm gonna grab some scissors over here. All right. Let me check on this. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and open this up. There we go. All right, 3 motors. Now you're gonna go ahead and unwrap these. All right, and then see this part right here. It goes straight into the holes here. 1, 2, and 3. So these 2 here on the side, these are for the arms. Let's go ahead and do those first. So I'm going to stick it in, and it only goes in one way. So you want to stick it in, and it goes through like that. All right, and then now you need your servo screws. Now the servo screws are the ones in this bag right here. Okay, so you're going to let's go ahead and open that up and pour them out. You should have 6 total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. All right. And then we are going to need this Allen wrench. So let's go ahead and grab our Allen wrench. Cool. And then what we do now is take one of the servo screws and feed it through this hole right here. All right. See, it doesn't go in all the way, but that's all right. That's what you just kind of get it there so it doesn't fall off, right? Then you get your Allen wrench, and then you can fit to the top of this, and then you can screw it in. All right, and then you go righty-tighty, righty-tighty, and keep going. All right. All right, and then I want you to watch carefully as the screw's going through. It's going to go through the wing of the servo motor. I call this little thing that's sticking out the wing. It goes through it and eats into the motor. All right, just make sure you can see they keep screwing until there's no gap here between the top of the screw and the torso. Keep going, and then boom, and then we're pretty good. You see that? And see it went through the hole there on the servo motor, and now it's mounted on there. Okay, so it's actually pretty good with just one screw, but we're gonna do 2 screws, so it's even better. All right, so let's put another one, and make sure the screw goes through the hole here. Let me grab another motor here. just to be clear, okay? See the motors here. There's a hole here. There's also a hole here, okay? The screw needs to go through that. All right, let's go ahead and grab another one, another servo screw. Get it placed on there. Okay. And we're going to tighten. Same thing. Righty-tighty. Righty-tighty. Keep going. And you don't want to over-tighten, okay? So once you see right there, now there's still a gap between the screw head and the torso. Once there's no gap, we're good to go, okay? You don't want to over-tighten, so I'm going to keep going. And there, see, it's sticking out. It's going through the servo wing there, and then there's no gap here. If you keep tightening, it could start bending this plastic here and then cause it to crack. So you don't want to do that, all right? Because we only have one torso, right? All right, so that's one. Cool. Let's go ahead and do the other arm. Same process. We take one of these motors. We're gonna stick it through this hole, this part right here. Through here, and it comes through. Cool. And then now we're gonna do the same thing. Servo screw here. Righty-tighty, righty-tighty. Okay, you keep going until the top of the servo screw is flush with the torso. Looks good. And we're good. All right. That one's on there. Let's go ahead and do the other hole right here, right? Putting it in. Righty-tighty, righty-tighty. And keep going. And we are almost there. In. All right. So it's thin. Screws are in. This is pretty solid here. And so it shouldn't wiggle. So if you try to kind of gently wiggle it with your fingers, it shouldn't wiggle. And it's solid. And again, it's not tightened. If this part right here is bent slightly, like warped like that, it means that these screws are too tight. You're going to want to loosen it a little bit, okay? If it's too tight, you're going to break the plastic here. All right, one more to go. This is for the head. So same process. We take our servo motor, stick it in here, okay? And then we put the servo screw in. Oh, there we go. That's not good. Let's try again. And righty-tighty. Righty-tighty until we get all the way in. Make sure you can see it. And it's going in. And one note here, if the servo motor starts pushing this way or something, it probably means that the hole on the servo wing's not matched up with the screw. So you just gotta kind of guide it a little bit, you know, make sure maybe you gotta wiggle this motor a little bit to make sure that the screw is going into the hole on the servo wing there. All right, let's do it again on this side. Almost there. Almost there. Got this one. All right, but just enough so that the head here of the screw is flush with the motor body. Looks good. I got three in there, all solid. Then what we do is take these cables here, okay? We're gonna stick them through the hole down here. So from the inside out. There's two of them, and I got one more here. Stick it through. There we go. All right, this should be nice and clean on the inside. organize these wires a little bit here. Okay, I like that. All right, next step, let's go ahead and grab our front plate here. The front plate is going to go on this side right here. The way you know is that you see these two holes here, 1 and 2. These two holes match with these two holes. Okay, if you try to do it in the back here, you'll notice there's no matching holes down here, right? So that's how you know. So you take the matching holes, match it up with these, and then just line it up. Looks pretty cool. And you're going to want to get this bag with the baby screws. The baby screws in here. Let's pour these out. Okay. And then you're going to need 2 of them. So let's go ahead and I like to lay it flat on the table here. Like that. And then righty-tighty. All the way in. Make sure the holes are lined up, right? And you just righty-tighty all the way in. Alright, I got it in there, so let me hold it up so you can get a better view here. And just keep going all the way until the screw is flush with the plastic. Okay, that looks good. Alright, let's do another one. Now, as I'm doing this, my robot is white because that's how they come. But part of the, you know, my process is for you to actually, you know, put your own flair on your robot, right? Because one thing I want you to keep in mind as you build this is your robot. So the idea is that no robot will be like this robot, right? So you can make it your favorite color. You know, I've seen students make this thing into a Batman. It could be anything. It could be a Superman. If you're not into Batman, it could be a dinosaur. You can add stuff to it. Okay, just that's kind of a side note with the customization part. But that'll be in a separate video. So this one's white, but yours will be unique to you. All right. All right. So I got my front plate on. Now let's go ahead and put the back plate. Now the back plate is going to be this. The noggin here. Okay, so let's go ahead and open this up. Okay, now this will fit here. Okay, you'll notice that we got how many holes here? 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, that matches with these 4 holes. Now, one note here: the holes might not match like perfectly okay. They won't match perfectly, all right. But as long as it's close enough, it will be okay. All right. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. Okay. So the reason why is this, you know, these are 3D printed, and so the locations aren't like exact, but they're good enough. I guarantee you. All right. And what's nice about it being plastic is that if it's not super perfect, it's actually pretty good, because it's actually a good thing, because as we put the screw in, it's going to eat into the plastic here. It's, you know, mechanical engineering, we call it like self-tapping. All right, the screw will self-tap into the plastic and make it even tighter. All right, so let's just line it up as best as we can, and then let's start screwing it in. We take our little, these are the baby screws here. That's all we have left, and we'll start on this corner here, and then we screw it in. Righty-tighty. Give you a side view here. There we go. All right, there's one, and this should be fun. Let's go ahead and finish the left. I like to go the one up here, and then let's go diagonal. Okay, that helps me make sure that everything's centered before I do the rest of them. Righty-tighty, righty-tighty. We're good. Actually, I think that went off the side. Let me take another look here. Ah, yes, it kind of went off the side there. So You know what? I'm not gonna do this one first. I'm gonna do the top right corner. I think I have a better hole up there. Okay, and I want to make sure that it's aligned here. See, it looks pretty straight here. And let's do it that way. Kind of adjust as you go, right? Okay, righty tighty. Here's the top view. That looks pretty straight to me, right? Looks good. Okay, now let's do the bottom. I'll go with this one now. Okay. Righty tighty. Looking good. And then this one here too. Alright, and again, this one I could tell it's not perfectly aligned, so I might need to wiggle the screw a little bit, put it at a slight slant so it kind of eats into that hole, and it's going in. Okay. So again, if it's not perfectly aligned, you just got to kind of, I like to say, we got to jimmy it a little bit, like wiggle the screw a little bit so that it gets into the hole, and then you screw it in. Okay. Things are looking good. I got these 4 screws in. I got the front plate. Okay, I got the noggin looking pretty good. Now we just gotta let's add the arms. Okay, so this is the arm bag. We have 2 arms. Okay, and we also have these 2 longer screws here. The way this works is you take the arm, you want to make sure that it's straight, okay, like this. Okay, if you went like this, not good. Go like that, not good. It needs to be straight like this, all right? In here, we are going to take this screw. It's going to go through this hole here, okay, like that. All right. You see it sticks out a little bit. It won't go all the way through. That's okay. As long as you see, like, if you can feel it, a little spikiness here, okay? And then this will go into this hole right here. But you got to make sure that it's straight, because if you try to put the screw in like crooked like this, it's not going to be good. So you're going to go straight. So what you want to do is, after you put it through there, you want to hold with this hand here. I'm holding it straight as I can. And make sure that this little spike here, this screw tip, is matched up with this hole, like that. And then we can take our Allen wrench and do a righty-tighty and keep going until it is in there, okay? And as you do that, you might hear the motor turning. All right, so this is another important part. Do not over-tighten. If you over-tighten, you might hurt the gears, the plastic gears in the motor, okay? So once it's snug, and how do you know is that if you can go like this. So you want to be able to move the arm, okay? But if it's too loose, and you want to be able to move the arm, and then whenever you stop moving, it stays there. If it's too loose, it would be like this. Let me show you. So this is actually still okay, but let me loosen it more. Okay, see how it's starting to get a little bit more floppy. So even if a little bit more floppy, it would be like, okay, see I go like that, and then see it kind of just like moves by itself. I try to get it up, but it keeps on moving on its own. It's not tight enough, okay? So I want to make it a little snug so that when I move it and I leave my finger, it stays there. So that's good, but not too tight, okay? So tight enough, but not too tight. So that's one arm. Let's do the other arm. Same process. Put this in. And we match it up with the hole, the tip of the screw, matching up with the hole. Holding it as straight as can be. righty-tighty until I feel it pretty firm. All right, that's good. Okay, now as you move this, you don't have to hear the motor spinning, okay? So once you do the coating, you're going to be able to move the arm. You just want to make sure you're able to move it with your finger and it doesn't move after you let go of it. This is good. All right. It's a cute little robot going. Last thing we're missing is the head. And we only have one screw left, one baby screw. So that's perfect. We have the right amount of parts. Okay, so here's the head again. All right. The head comes in two parts. This is the bottom part. There's a hole here that matches up with the hole there. So let me first stand up my robot. So let's get these cables out of the way and then stand them up. All right. Then I take this, match it up with the hole there. Take my last screw here, match it up. Okay. And then what I can do now is then screw in on the top. Okay, and then this, you're gonna probably need to give it a little bit of elbow grease, but we're gonna keep screwing in until the head is nice and snug. And my head is nice and snug now. So you don't want it like wobbling everywhere like a wobble head. So right now it's wobbling slightly but pretty snug. Maybe I'll give it a little bit more. I like that. Not wobbling at all. Okay, and then now I can snap my head on here, just kind of push it on, and my robot is done. Hello, Barnabas-Bot. Welcome to the world. Now this comes off, right? So yours might be a little bit looser than mine, a little tighter than mine. That's the whole thing with 3D printing. It's not going to be exact. If it's too loose, you can always take this off, put a little Elmer's glue or something right there, and then put it on. But I like it. Basically the option to take it off, because if I need to replace the motor or make changes, I want to be able to easily take the head off. But that's totally up to you. All right, there we go. Hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, feel free to always reach out.